Okay, we have the approval of the agenda for January 28th in front of us. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda or modify
Can I have a
it if
motion?
necessary.
I'd like to make a motion to add something to today's agenda, Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
I'll make a motion that we add an alternative map that was created in the last 24 hours to the agenda for today, January 28th.
Alternative map that was, okay. Do we have a second to modify the agenda to add the discussion of the an alternate map that was, we received? Do we have a second?
Second.
Who second?
Ron.
Ron?
Ron did.
Ron
and
second?
Kara simultaneously,
Okay.
but Ron beat her.
Any discussion? All in favor of that motion, say aye.
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 Aye. Yeah, it sounds like I have three on. Okay. You have before you the minutes of January 21st for our meeting.
Did that motion pass or fail?
Mr. Chairman,
Oh.
could we have
Sorry about that.
a decision on the vote again?
All in favor of the motion to modify the agenda to add the discussion for the alternate map, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
This is Dawn, and I said aye.
Okay. Kara, aye.
Aye.
Ron?
Aye. Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Nay.
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 Nay. Nay.
Nay.
Four against, and four. So it's down to me. We'll discuss it. 5-4.
Fair enough.
Okay, the minutes for 21st. You have it in front of you?
I move to approve the minutes.
It has been moved by Judy to approve the minutes,
I'll second it.
second by Ed. Discussion on the minutes of January 21st. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Dawn,
Aye.
Kara,
Aye.
Ron,
Aye.
pass unanimously. We have a new business item on the agenda, but before we go to new business, I would be remiss as your chair if I didn't make a few comments about some activity over the last week. And I want to just make sure that we all understand that the agenda and the minutes and also the discussions we have in these meetings are available online on YouTube. So anyone who wants to go back and look at any of these meetings can do so. And it's posted pretty much within a couple of days of the meeting on YouTube. So all the discussion that we've had so far, you have an opportunity to go out there and listen to any of those minutes. Also, there was some discussion about 5 districts. And I thought we made it clear, but let me just emphasize again that any change in the number of districts that we currently have 3 districts. Any change in the number of districts requires a legislation to be introduced in Annapolis, and the General Assembly would have to act on it. The county commissioners have no control over that, because one reason is because the commissioner form of government. It could be for all forms of government in Maryland, but any change in the number of districts is actually outside of the purview of this committee. But if you want to, or you desire to have the number of districts changed, you can do that at any time. You don't have to wait every 10 years. You can get a bill introduced in Annapolis anytime. If you get it passed, the number of districts will change. If you don't get it, if it doesn't pass, it will stay the way it is now. So I just want to make sure it's clear that any change to the number of districts requires legislation to be introduced in Annapolis. The county commissioners has no control of that. And just as any other bill that can be introduced in Annapolis, any citizen can do that. They can do it if they get, of course, support of an elected official in Annapolis to sponsor that bill for them. So I hope we're clear on that. And the other thing is, there was an article in the County Times, and I just want to quote what it says, because I don't think it reflects this committee. It says, "Unfortunately, the Redistricting Committee has shut us down at every turn. They have ignored similar calls by nonpartisan groups like the League of Women Voters and the NAACP. Enough is enough." I don't think that's a fair reflection of this committee, and I want to go on record to say that in terms of the fact that I've conducted these meetings in a fair way. We use Robert's Rules of Order. If you make a motion and it's second, it'll be discussed, and then it'll be voted on. And after it's voted on, we'll proceed, whether it's up or down. So I just want to make sure it's clear, and it does concern me when we send out information and it's not accurate. Because what we need in this world is more accurate information going out at all times. So thank you for that.
Mr. Chair, if I
Personal
may,
privilege as the chair to comment on that.
as the NAACP representative, I can tell you that that information did not come from me or from the president himself, because I've only talking to him about this, so.
Right.
They did not contact me at all, so as the
Right.
official representative, that did not come from us.
Yeah, all right, thank you. Okay,
Well, wait, this is Dawn again, and I did not make that, allude to that article at all from the League of Women Voters, so I'd like to have that put on record as well.
that it referenced the League of Women Voters in the article?
But I'm saying that did not come from me.
Okay, thank you.
I have information, we might have to talk, I'll talk to the end.
All right, thank you.
Can't hear that?
No, that's, it was, participation from the audience, we'll wait until, public comment.
Oh,
I'm anxiously waiting for the comment now. So last time, let's summarize where we are from last time. Last time we had the current maps, 3 districts, and we had 3 plans. Through discussion, we decided that, well, the current map, no change at all, that's always an option for the commissioners, so we really eliminate that as a recommendation. We looked at the 3 plans proposed from the State Board of Elections, and we voted on Plan 1. Plan 2, we eliminated, and Plan 3, we decided at the end of the meeting to bring back to discussion today Plan 1 and Plan 3. Is that where everyone, that's where you understand where we are? Okay. Since then, I've also requested some additional information that will be provided. And I want to also take some time to thank staff for all the hoops we're making you jump through right now, and they're shaking their head yes. Excuse me. But it's very important that we have the right information to make the best decision and recommendation for the county that we can. So that's why we are looking at these different options and seeing what is the best option to move forward with. So the alternate plan, map that Mr. Hawkins talked about, let's talk about that right now. Does anyone else have any other comments before we move forward? Okay, Michael, you have the floor.
Well, I apologize, Mr. Chair, because I just got this last night myself, so I hadn't had a chance to fully realize what the change is. What the NAACP, what the members of the NAACP were looking for is to make the districts, I want to call it more minority-friendly when it comes to voting. But as the way the map is driven, it doesn't really change a whole lot from map number 1 that we had in our proposal. It just has the lines a little bit different, but it doesn't change really the population totals in each district that much. It doesn't change the voting in each area that much. It doesn't add anything of concrete to what we had from, basically map one.
Okay.
So it's very, very similar. I give them credit for the time they took to get it, even though it was last night. It's very, very similar, but it doesn't make a whole lot, doesn't make any change really from map one.
Okay. I want to make sure that if you're on Zoom, that you do have the map that Michael was talking about. Don, Ron, and Kara, do you have that map?
Yes, I do.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Mr. Chairman, it is also on the screen for the other participants.
Okay,
on
they
Zoom
can
to
see it on the screen. Good. In terms of, Michael, anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. So we sent this map to the Board of Election. They've had about 4 hours or less to actually look at it and gather as much data as they could to assist us in making a decision. And there was a question, it's my understanding there was a question about splitting census areas, is that the term they use?
It was census designated places.
Gail, could you address that? My understanding, it can't be split. Gail is the our administrator for the Board of Elections.
Yes, it's my understanding that we cannot split census tracts or blocks.
Right,
I would have to research into that if that is, an area like the town center or something. If the census blocks are as a whole there, I would not be able to split them. But if they are different tracts, that may be something we can do, but I would have to get a concrete answer for you. As it is right now, I cannot split tracts or blocks.
And to make it clear, Plan 4 does split census blocks?
No,
They don't, okay,
I mean,
make sure. I just want to make sure, that's all.
no, they didn't split the census blocks, did they? Because
No, they didn't. The
we
only,
went right up with it.
yes, the only thing that
census
Plan
blocks were
4,
intact, right.
the only thing that it split was the census designated place
Right,
of Prince Frederick.
was Prince Frederick. That's the only place it had an effect, was in Prince Frederick. And they followed census blocks and tracts all the way up through there.
good,
And you can see, that we followed that.
okay.
Okay, so we're talking census designated blocks and tracts. They're all still together. It's just census designated places maybe split.
Correct.
And we currently have census designated places that are split on our current map, correct?
Ask that question again, Kara?
Don't we currently have, census designated places that are split right now? Like, isn't Huntingtown currently split?
For our current districts? You want to share your chooses?
Right, in our current districts, don't we already have census designated places split?
We're going to bring up the map to review it.
We need to look at the map and then we can tell you, because I know Huntingtown does go down through Huntingtown Road, but, but that's a precinct. You're talking about districts here too,
Right.
right?
Yeah, precincts is your area.
Right, that's
You
mine.
know how to do that. We're bringing up the map now, Kara.
Split? Or they have been split?
Any other comments while they're bringing that up?
What is this map you're bringing up now?
This is the
Current.
current one to see if we split any of the designated,
Okay.
census designated areas, I guess it is. Hope I'm using the right terminology there. It's working. It's working.
Yeah, it's working. We're working live. So it's pulling data from our database to bring it into
Okay.
the map.
All right, we're gonna have to move and come back to this.
Okay, it does look like Huntington.
Yeah, I
is
think
split
I pulled it up on the
between
GIS
2 and
thing.
3.
It looks like Huntingtown is split between 3 and 2 under the current map.
Oh, it must be the southern part.
And maybe also Calvert Beach is split. So yeah, there are splits.
What are those designated?
They're called census designated places, which
Okay,
are like
and they split.
towns or, and they're, yeah, Huntingtown is
Okay.
split, yeah.
So it's a matter of, well, let's take that off the table then, if we're doing it now, that piece, and look at the map objectively in terms of any other attributes you feel that, or benefits from this fourth map. Michael, you said that you don't see any appreciable major difference between that and some of the other proposals we already have. I think the one difference, I'm looking at the data you provided, Gail. The one difference I see, looks like the deviation looks pretty good on this one. The one difference is when you look at the makeup of the 3 districts, the proposal that Michael just talked about has District 1 Democrats about 7,700, rounding it to the nearest 100, and Republicans at 86. District 2 had Democrats at 83 and Republicans at 81. And District 3, 79 Democrats and about 11,000 Republicans, or 10,008. So those are the numbers there. And those are, as quickly as we could, those are the numbers we could pull together for that. Any other discussion on map, the Plan 4?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
as I'm looking at this map, I'm seeing that 4,000 people are gonna have to change their voting districts. I'm looking at, there is absolutely no change, little to no change in the minority vote in either of the districts. Looks like there will be cost involved, staffing, et cetera. And it looks like, if I look at this map and I look at the voting, it looks like it's a gerrymandered proposal to have a majority Democratic thing. And when we first started out, we said we weren't going to fall prey to making a district for political purposes. We were just gonna do it for people purposes, not political, so. And that, I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention before we discuss it or vote it.
Okay. I think the one, Ed, you mentioned cost. The one thing that, I think the state maps either were approved yesterday or they're close to being approved for the legislative districts.
I know they were discussed according to,
There is a
It was
discuss-
approved last night, 'cause I got a copy of it this morning.
Yeah, okay. So, we will have to make changes based on, changes to the state map, anyway. And the comment made regarding that is that, because, as you know, when you introduce legislation at the state level, you have to attach a fiscal note saying how much it's gonna cost. Well, this had a fiscal, there's no impact in terms of fiscal note, and it had a caveat or a note that said, because the local governments anticipate this taking place every 10 years, they should have been ready to handle this, so therefore there's no fiscal note. So I just want to bring that up, that because we know this is coming, it's not a surprise to anyone that lines may change, that and I think the commissioner, the county administrator said that they will be able to handle whatever the cost would be on any of these.
And I agree,
Maybe
Mr.
a
Chairman, I
comment,
just,
if you-
I know it's not within our purview, and I know that the monies will be there no matter what it is.
Right.
But I'm just wanted to be, as part of my thought process is, we want to be as fiscal conservative as we can without affecting too many people.
Duly noted.
Are you all able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I would like to make a comment too, looking at this. This map seems to be the only map that puts the minority population in one district over 8,000. So it does look like the map that would give the fairest shot to minority voters to have fair representation.
I think when you look at the 3 districts, and we have 2 at-large positions in Calvert County, and when I ran for the first time back in 2022, a long time ago, 2002, everyone in the county could vote for a county commissioner candidate. And so the fact that you can receive votes across the whole county is not designating just one area where anyone, minority or Democrat or Republican or whoever's running, can get votes. And I would say that if you're running across the whole county, you have a better chance to get a representative sample of all voters than you would just in the one district. And that's still an option that's on the table, not on the table, but we have 2 positions that are at large and 3 running by districts. Even if if they made a change in Annapolis that the district representative only gets votes from that district, you still have 2 at-large seats that anyone can run for and get votes across the entire county. And I think we should do whatever we can to make sure that we preserve it.
Historically, at-large voting has been used to silence minority voters, so I'm not sure that I agree with that. I'm sure the Democratic Central Committee would not be of the same opinion, but.
I don't know, I don't understand that thinking. I can tell you a fact that it helped me to get votes across the entire county.
So is
And
that
if I were running
before or
from
after
one
the
district, I
2014
probably
change
would not have been
in the way
elected.
that,
Maybe I would have,
we
I don't
elect
know.
commissioners?
Did I cut you off, Kara?
No, was that before or after the 2014 change in the way that we elect our commissioners? Because now we have commissioners that if they're gonna run at large, they have to file to run at large, correct?
Yes, but all 5 commissioners today get votes from the entire county.
Yes, yes.
Right. So actually, before, we had 5 commissioners running at large, and the highest vote getter from a specific district would represent the district. So the change in 2014 was the first time it went into effect. That change, what it did was clarify, we had a convoluted way in which people were elected, and the former commissioner, Barbara Stinnett, lost an election. She was number 5, and because Jerry Clark came in number 6, he got it because he was the only representative from the first district. So we clarify that by having 3 districts designated up front. That way, you're not running against the entire county. You're only running against the person that's in your district, that's running against you in the district.
Mr. Chairman? I have a
Yes.
question. Just for clarity, if I'm understanding correct, I'd like to have a question for the people proposing this. So if I understand correctly, this is an attempt to pack people into a district based on race in order to improve their representation. Is that correct?
I don't think that was the intent, but like I said, I just got this last night, so I can't say yes or no, but I don't think that was the intent.
Okay. Kara, I thought I heard you say that was part of something that you liked about this proposal. Is that correct?
Oh, I liked that minority voters might have a fair shot of getting accurate representation. I do like that. I mean, it looks like they're usually split and don't have a shot. So
And I
that
beg
is
to
a
differ.
plus for me.
Anything else?
No, sir.
No.
Steve?
Mr. Chairman, yes, one thing that this committee has come together on and agreed upon is the lines that the election board asked us to look at as far as moving District 1 up into District 2, or actually 2 down into 1. And this here does not reflect that. I thought we all agreed on that. It's, you see what I'm saying, how they stop? We take it all the way up here on the map that Gail gave us.
Yeah.
So they came up on that side.
Pardon me?
They came up on that
They
side.
came up on that side,
Yeah.
right, but this here, they didn't fall
Yeah.
back into that.
I agree. I feel like we have a roughly geographic division between districts, and there has been a lot of discussion on trying to fix that and keep it on geographic lines, and I think this proposal 4 definitely goes way away from that. And I'd like to propose we start moving through the other proposals that, or
Let's
just
vote.
voting on the different proposals and
Let's
discuss
vote.
the other one.
The one that's currently in front of you is Plan 4, as presented. All in favor of Plan 4, signify, no.
Aye.
Any additional discussion? Any additional discussion on Plan 4? There's been a call for the vote.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
staff does have the current district map and an overlay of the census designated places, if you guys did want to revisit that.
okay, I thought
Sorry.
Luke had looked at it and said we did split them. Is that the case?
Yes, I did, if you wanted to have it put on the screen, staff
Okay,
is
put it
prepared
up
to do
on the
that.
screen. So that's Plan 4 there.
Yeah, the red outlines are the census designated places.
Yeah, but do we have that for the current?
Yep, current plan,
Yeah,
okay, let's see. This one. So I
yeah,
gotta
we
change-
split right through Huntington.
change color
Okay.
this.
That's what Luke had said.
Mhm.
Okay, so I thought we already decided that wasn't, we were not gonna look at that as a ballot. Okay. It shows what Luke had already pointed out. Any other discussion on Plan 4 before we vote on Plan 4? All in favor for considering Plan 4 as a recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners, signify by saying aye.
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 Kara, aye.
Aye.
Don? Don or Ron?
This is for consideration as one
No,
of the
this would
plans?
be,
Or we-
this would be a recommendation. Actually, it would be part of the other one. We don't know which one's gonna come out on top. But do you wanna consider this further than we are considering it right now?
For consideration, I would vote aye.
Okay? Is Dawn aye? Dawn, did you say, what was your vote?
I do see that Dawn is muted, however, her hand is raised, so I'm
Okay.
not sure if she's just unable to mute herself.
Okay, so that's 4. Ed?
Nay.
Judy?
Nay.
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 Nay. 5-4. Okay,
Appreciate your time, Mr. Chair.
Was that, Mr. Chair, was that the
5-4, which favor?
Nay.
oh, it's 4-5.
4-5?
Sorry, 4-5, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
The Plan 4, Map 4 will not be considered any further. Okay,
Mr. Chair, can I have it placed on the record that I did fulfill the NAACP's request to have the map voted on? Therefore, I've done my duty as opposed to them.
you're on the record, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. We want to look at the 2 proposals that we have from last time, those proposal number 1 and proposal number 3, and see if we can come to a majority vote on one or the other. Now, let me summarize these 2 proposals, and let's discuss it. Proposal number 1 adds voters to the first district. And that's all it does. It adds voters to the first district, and there are no other lines that are changing in that plan. For proposal number 1, the percent difference for that plan is, there's a 4.71% difference between the least and the most populated district. Clearly, that means, of course, we can have up to 10%. So that is good. It's better than the current. I think the current's around 8 or something like that.
Because it's like a minus 2% and then a plus 2%.
Right.
For the ideal purpose.
Yeah. So that's only making the correction in the first district, making it, bringing the votes up in the first district, making it closer to the other districts, and that's all that Plan 1 does. In the first district, there would be 30,253. The second district, 30,808. And the third district, 31,709. That's Plan 1. Plan 3 it actually adds on to Plan 1. Plan 1 is just the first district adjustment. Plan 3, you're doing that first district adjustment, and you're also looking at the second and third district and trying to normalize those lines as close as possible. Now, in doing Plan 3, the number for the first district stays the same at 30,253. The second district number is 31,158, and the third district number is 31,359. And the percent deviation or difference here for Plan 3 is 3.58. So of the 3 plans, we're looking at the current 1 and 3. 3 has the best difference between among the districts. When you look at Plan 1, from a minority standpoint, Plan 1 has first district, 7,641, second district, 7,517, third district, 7,682. Plan 3, first district, 7641, that wouldn't change. District 2, 7975. District 3, 7224. So not an appreciable difference between the plans with respect to the minority voters in those areas, within a couple of hundred votes. Let's see. And I asked Gail to look at what precincts will be changing. What will change will have to change, and now that if we know what's gonna happen in Annapolis, that may generate some more changes also. So she documented the number of people that would change. We have a combination of some precincts just changing the designation from one district to the other. The other one we also have people moving around between one district and another district. So that's what we have before us. Plan 1 only changed the first district. Plan 3 enhances the difference between number of people in each district, and also levels out as much as possible the second and third district. So do we have those maps that we could show? Well, you have those maps in front of you. Anyone needs to look at those maps, or you have those maps in front of you?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to show Mr. Zimmerman, or not show, but Gail has provided the maps from 1990 and 1980. Now, it appears to me that the 1980 is the closest to what the map 3 is?
Yeah,
Is that correct?
yes.
Is that closer to what the lines are you were looking at?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Gail.
Judy, the ironic thing about it is over 20 years. And all the increase in population, not 20 years, 40 years. And the increase in population over 40 years has pretty much been evenly distributed throughout the county.
Throughout the county.
Interesting. Okay. With the two maps in front of us, any discussion, I sort of summarized that, but any discussion in terms of one map versus the other?
I'd like to say I appreciated the public comment last week, and somebody suggested we reach out to the community, so I took that to heart and reached out to several people in my community and people I know, and heard generally from the community, without any consideration of politics or who's living where or anything else, they would look at the maps and said, honestly, Plan 3 looks like what it should be. It's what it seems like it breaks the county to what it should be. It's what it currently is. It's strange that they have this large dog leg. And so although there is some cost and people who change the vote, I'm leaning towards sort of shifting my perspective from where I was last week.
Anyone else comment on either plan?
I'm looking at shifting mine too, Mr. Chair, from one to the third plan, because it seems like the best option. And like I said, I had a meeting last night with a lot of NAACP members who were concerned about the lines being drawn. So I think their input has been put in here, and I think I'm shifting from Plan 1 to Plan 3 also.
I agree. I would shift from 1 to 3.
Ed? Any comment?
The only comment I'd like to make is, one, there'll be 1,400 people changing their voting districts, and number 3, there'd be 5,600
Yeah.
in their voting districts, and that's a huge concern of mine, people changing where they're going to vote and how it's counted.
I think on top of that, you do also have to add any implications from the state maps. People will have to change anyway to notify them that they're no longer voting for the same delegate. And I haven't looked at them in any detail, so I don't know. Any comments from Ron, Kara, or Dawn regarding 1 or 3?
I was leaning to Plan 1. I am now shifting my opinion to Plan 3. I think it does kind of hopefully address the NAACP's concern about the minority distribution. So.
Dawn or Kara?
On this per se, but since packing and cracking was brought up, I would like to just read what the county attorney gave us. It said, packing minorities into a single district in an effort to limit their voting strength to that one district, when if the minority population had not been so concentrated in that one district, the group could have electoral strength in a second district as well. So I would just like to point out that the NAACP map did not pack where they could have had more than one district. The way these stand, we're not gonna have minorities winning any districts.
Dawn?
I concur with that. I'm going to leave mine in the way it was. I'm still concerned about the representation of the people, and my concern is also that I don't think there was enough time for people to know what was happening with the map, and I just feel that all the people need to know. And I don't know what the representative said. He spoke to some people, but it is important that all the people know.
Okay.
That being said, I'm going to abstain right now.
Okay. All right, let's take a vote on whether this first vote would be if you, I'll entertain a motion for anyone who's supporting one or the other. Let's do it that way and get it in the record.
I'll make a motion that we take a vote on Plan number 3.
Okay.
A second.
It's been moved by Michael and second by Luke that we recommend Plan number 3 to the county commissioners. I'm not putting words in your mouth, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Discussion on that motion. All in favor of the motion to recommend Plan 3 to the county commissioners, signify by saying aye. And I wanna do a call vote. Luke?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Judy?
Aye.
Ed?
Aye.
Kara?
Nay.
Don? I'll come back to Don. Ron?
Aye.
Don? Don, you still there? Do you still show her?
I see her has dropped off.
She's dropped off?
You say she abstained from voting?
She abstained, okay, she
She did
abstained.
say that prior to the actual hold of the vote. I don't know if that stands, Pam.
But she should be counted in this vote, so we could get her back on the line to clarify that
Yes.
during this voting process.
There she is. Dawn, are you there?
I'm back.
Okay, we're taking a vote on, there's a motion regarding recommending Plan 3 to the county commissioners, and we're taking a vote on whether you support that motion. What's your vote on that? She's still there?
She is still on the line. She is unmuted, but no audio.
Can you hear me, Dawn?
Pam, can she put it in the chat and that be for record, or does she have to?
She could, can she call in? Can she?
Dawn, can you hear us?
I wonder if she could put something into
She
the
could put
chat
it in the chat
even?
as well.
Is a chat
It'd be-
option?
Verbal obviously be better, but if she can
Would you send her in,
note it in the chat.
Oh, okay.
you ask for her vote through chat?
Dawn, if you're able to, please cast your vote in the chat.
Mr. Chairman, is there enough votes that the motion has passed?
It is passed, but for the record.
It has passed.
Well,
And-
there's enough to pass it, but I wanna, because this is a formal vote, I wanna make sure we get her on record. Right now, you voted nay and Kara voted nay.
I voted it,
yay.
Oh, sorry.
I voted it
You
aye.
You did. Who voted?
We all
You got it written down? What was it?
Kara has voted nay
Kara is the only nay right now?
currently, and you have not casted your vote.
Okay,
Ron,
Ron
Mr. Chairman.
voted yes, right?
Correct.
Okay, so right now, the way the
There's-
vote stands, and I vote yes.
I have
7-1 right
an
now.
amendment, I guess, that, will the gentleman accept that this vote has passed with the auspices of that the person who we can't get a hold of can vote electronically at another time?
We should have a formal adoption of this motion prior to moving
Excuse
forward
me,
to it.
I'm sorry, sir.
Alright.
This is Dawn again. I'm back. I don't know, going in and out, but I'm voting no, so that you can know.
Okay, thank you very much, Don.
Thank you.
The motion passed to recommend Plan 3 to the county commissioners. The vote is 7-2.
Thank
You
you.
shaking your head?
It's 6-2, and, no, I'm sorry,
7-2.
it is 7-2, yes.
Okay. 7-2. and the motion passes. So that is that we would recommend to the county commissioners, Plan 3. Now, I'll throw this out for your discussion. What we have done in the past, and Judy knows this, is that we would say this, the majority of the committee voted for this, and we tell them what the vote was. We can also say that we deliberated on two options. Plan 3 came out ahead, Plan 1 was the second option, and we explained what Plan 1 is, so that they can look at it.
As a question, Mr. Chairman, do we have to vote to remove Plan 1 off the table? Not for consideration?
That would not be necessary, Mr. Baylor.
Okay. So we don't have to do that.
Right.
It's gone. All right.
Right. But if you want, well, all I'm saying is, if you want the commissioners to, we can write the recommendation to say that majority voted for Plan 3. However, Plan 1 was the second one that we considered, and we explained what that is. But however, Plan 3 includes Plan 1. If everyone's okay with that, if not, we won't do it.
Plus, what I would do, Mr. Chairman, I'd have them understand we reviewed all of the proposals.
Oh, yes, that'll be there.
Not just,
Ed had asked last week how we would do this, and we'll get together and do it. I've done it at least one other time this year with staff, but we'll go through and talk about all what we've done to get to this point, so that the commissioner has the path that we have taken, and we make the recommendation.
They might not take it, but recommend it.
Right, we all we can do is recommend.
Yeah.
So, at this point, any other comments? But at this point, the work of this committee has come to an end. And what that means is that we have to put together a packet for the county commissioners. I think we should meet next week. Let me make sure we're clear on that. We should meet next week and go over what we're gonna recommend, because all should have an appreciation for how it's written and what the recommendation is, so that everyone's on board and you're not surprised in terms of what you recommended to the county commissioners. So we still meet next week. And next week, we're putting pressure on staff, but
Administratively, we can create a memo based on your recommendation.
Right.
My suggestion would be to maybe put together a presentation too. That way you guys can
Yes.
show the commissioners the proposals that you were reviewing.
Right.
Administratively, I can put that together, send that out electronically for your review, and then you would make your formal vote next week.
so we made the formal vote, though. We mean,
I
Are
would,
you referencing the report, the
Yes.
draft report?
yes, I could draft a report, and then they would vote on the report next week.
On
I
the-
don't know, that that's necessary, but I think it's a good idea, obviously, for the members to actually see the report
It
as
should be
written.
consensus.
And make any suggested changes that,
Right.
as you all see fit.
we made the vote. It's just we
Correct.
gotta write it up, and we all gotta agree that we're saying what we wanna say.
Correct.
General consensus.
The other thing is that this would be, when is it, the 8th or the 15th to the board?
It would be the 15th.
I knew you were gonna say that. Okay. Okay, so we plan on presenting this to the board at their meeting on the 15th. We'll meet next Friday to talk about what's in that report and recommendation we're making to the board. And then we can schedule it now, though.
Yes,
Yeah, so that we can get on the calendar.
correct.
And hopefully we won't get a lot of snow. Okay, any other comments to come before our meeting? We're getting ready to go to public comment?
Mr.
Oh,
Chairman,
Ed?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, sorry.
Just a quick synopsis of what we're going to do is we're also going to tell him about our recommendations as far as elections or not.
As far as
The county commissioners,
the president?
the president.
Well, we're gonna say we talked about
About
it.
it,
Yeah,
okay.
everything that we talked about, we're gonna summarize,
Okay,
that we've talked about, and we decided to not change that.
okay,
Yeah, that will all be in there.
okay.
Thanks for bringing that up, though. Anything else you wanna make sure that we have in there? It'll cover a summary of everything we've talked about. Okay. Ed?
We into talks for the good of the order before we go to public comment?
Yeah, yeah.
I just want to personally thank you, Mr. Chairman, for leading us through this mess. Although we don't always agree, we have showed that the process does work. It's my first time on this thing, and maybe in 10 years, if I'm still around, maybe some of us might do this again if we're selected. And it was a very interesting, educating experience for me. The dedication of the team that you have here was very enlightening to me, and I want to thank you. And most importantly, I want to thank the staff, because we could not do it without the staff. So God bless you all. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I also want to thank the staff, especially for my last minute, as I call it, last minute request from last night. I personally don't do business that way and never have, but I appreciate all the hard work you all put in the past 24 hours to make sure we had something on paper to let everybody see it. Again, my apologies, and I appreciate the work.
Well, I just want to thank this team. And I think it's, when I look at the work we had before us, we worked as a team for the betterment of Calvert County. And that was why the commissioners put us all together. We were able to look at some different options. We had some give and take as more information came before us. And I feel that we've come up with an option that will last Calvert County even beyond the next 10 years. And I really do thank staff. I thank the public for their input. And thank all of you for your professionalism. You're willing to take a look at options and I know when all you guys came on board that you probably had something in your mind that may not have ended up where you wanted to end up. But that's what deliberation and serving on a committee is all about. Gail, it's been a pleasure to work with you for the third time.
Yep, this is the third.
Yeah, not for either one of us. Any comments online? Dawn or Ron or Kara, make any comments before we go to public comment?
This is Dawn, and again, I wrote in the chat, thank you for your service. It has been a pleasure speaking with all of you. And next week, I hope to be there in person, weather permitting.
Great, good to see you.
And I'll second what Mr. Baylor said. This was definitely an educational experience. Thank you all for that.
Sure. Thank you.
I would like to thank you for your service, Mr. Wilson, leading this endeavor, and I especially like to thank the staff, Gail, and the GIS team. They've done a wonderful job.
Thank you. Okay, it's time for public comment at this point. Do we have anyone in the room who would like to comment? Catherine? Tell us who you are and where you're from.
Catherine Grasso, and I'm from Dunkirk, Maryland. And the article that was in the newspaper, you were, displeased with it being in there, and where did it come from? I received from Calvert County Democrat Central Committee, subject, we need your help, Calvert deserves 5 districts. It was dated January 24th. Reply to the Calvert County Democrat Central Committee, and everything that you read in that article is spelled out in the email that they sent out to everyone. They also left a spot for people to click to let the commissioners know that we deserve better, a more equitable and transparent system. Let them know that we deserve better. Let them know that hashtag Calvert deserves 5 districts. And it's, for all intents and purposes, signed by the Calvert County Democratic Central Committee, Young Democrats of Calvert County Democratic Club, and the Calvert County Democratic Women's Club. So there's your source.
Thank you. Anyone else in the room would like to comment?
Yes, Mr. Chairman,
Ella?
I want to thank
Go
you
ahead.
all. You want me to stand up here?
Tell us who you are and where you're from, Ella.
I'm Ella Ennis, and as here as a citizen, I just want you to know that I feel the process has been very transparent and very inclusive, allowed us to come and be here and hear everything that's going on. And we, in Calvert County, people have gotten along together well, and we should be able to divide up the districts into even and equal population without any animosity, and I am grateful for all of you for your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, let's go online and see.
All right, if you are online and you would like to speak, please raise your hand. If you are calling in on a cell phone, please press *9, *9 to raise your hand, and then you will be called on either by the last 4 digits of your number or by your name. Currently have one hand raised. And Miss Barbara Furness, apologies if I'm pronouncing your last name wrong. Please unmute your mic, state your name, where you are located, and if you are speaking on behalf of yourself or an organization. Miss Barbara, you're still muted.
Okay, I'm Barbara Ferenz, and I'm in Owings. And I just wanted to say that I'm representing myself, by the way, that I think one of you had recommended that if we wanted changes for us to contact our state representatives, and I think that's a very good idea, and I think I will be doing that. And talking about having 5 districts and voting in our own districts, and that is about the only way we're going to have representation for every. So, but I thank you for your work, and I realize that monetary costs and convenience is important to redistricting. This is my 3rd time coming to the meetings, so I was very surprised that that was the topic. But thank you for serving, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, if you are interested in speaking, please raise your hand, and you'll be called on by either your name or the last 4 digits of your number. We currently have one more individual with their hand raised. Catherine Kretu.
Yes, I'd like to second Ms. Ferenz's comments, and I thank the committee and the staff for their very hard work. I have to say that I feel very disappointed that there has not been more effort made before the process started to make this process known to more of the residents of the county. I feel like I'm a fairly well-informed person, and I didn't find out about this until it was already in process. And I think clearly for us to consider more options, people would have needed to have known about this much earlier than before the committee actually started meeting. And I hope that 10 years from now, we will be able to get started on broader discussions of representation in the county in time to consider more options. But thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
At this time, no one else has raised their hand.
Okay. No one else want to speak?
Wilson, I wouldn't mind sharing something about, and I've been thinking about the 5 districts and about the efforts to elect within districts, and I can see some value for that in terms of districts having, being able to call their particular representative for a local, very local issue. But I've also thought about the importance of the sort of unity of the county, and I think that's part of the role for having these at-large commissioners. And I think that helps. The county does operate as a unit, and there's a lot of things that get decided at that level. And so just wanted to note that, it seems as though there's some value for the unity in terms of like getting things done and administratively and having some unitative aspects of electing our representatives at that level as well. Just wanted to point that out. Thank you.
I'd
No, I
like to say
agree.
something
I
as
want-
well, along those lines. I think unity is very important, but I also think that hearing the voices, the diverse opinions of our community members matter. I mean, Maryland, you know, we have lots of different delegates and senators. They vote on state issues. We would like unity in Maryland, but we would not want somebody from Montgomery County saying who our elected officials are gonna be in Calvert County. So it just seems like fair representation to have that. We're gonna need 5 districts. We're gonna need in-district voting. And I too will be contacting my legislators.
Good. I was just, with 3 districts and 2 at large, whether the 3 districts are elected within the district or not, what it does, it gives every voter in the county an opportunity to vote for 3 commissioners. And you need 3 commissioners on the same page in order to get anything passed in the county. We shouldn't lose sight of that you don't have to go after the 5 people act as if they're going after the same pot. But I think it's very important, at least to me, that we do have an at-large component in whatever structure we have. Okay.
You can't get, you get locked in. See, I was the one that started the thing about the president being elected by the citizens in this county. I sat down with Mike Miller, we drafted something, I crossed the aisles, talked to Republicans, Democrats, Independents, or whatever. And the state stepped in, and I worked with Gail on this. And she was very helpful, and gave me advice, and got in contact. I sat down with our attorney, John Norris, and people told me, they said, Steve, I don't wanna get locked into somebody for 4 years that's not gonna be treating the citizens or the county right in this thing. And it's the same thing, I've lived here 40-some years, Karen, I'm gonna tell you something, he'll tell you that too. I've sat on a lot of committees in this county. I've supported, I ran all labor, all the union labor in the tri-county area down here. And it's so good, it's so refreshing. If you have somebody that has a district saying, you feel like you have to report to them and you can't go out. I say, thank God we had at-large people. You know what I mean? I didn't get along with all the commissions either, but I had an at-large person. You only need 3 votes for a majority down at the commissioners board. And I utilized that, and they helped me a lot, and Wilson backed me up on that. And like I said, it's just, I think it's a great that we have that, the at-large people. And you're not locked into a district, and that's the person you gotta deal with.
Yeah.
That's me, you know. I just wanted to say that.
Okay. I think our time is up, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn, but I'd also like to thank the committee and the staff and
Okay.
public inputs. Thank you.
Me as
There's a
well.
motion?
I'd like to say that too. Thank you, Wilson, for leading us all. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
All in favor
Nice
of
to
the
meet
motion to adjourn?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Meeting next week, same time.
I can see the snow.